The last question in today's series is question number 60, and that asks what are the rights and liabilities of a lessee in the absence of a contract to the contrary. So, first we'll discuss the rights of lessee, as there are 7 different rights like accession, destruction of the property, repairs, payment made on behalf of the lessor, then fixtures, crops, assignment, and as regarding such rights, we discuss first one accession. If during the continuance of the lease any accession is made on the property, such accession subject to law relating to alluvion for the time being in force is deemed to be comprised in the lease. On the termination of the lease, the lessee must surrender the accession in the same way as he is bound to surrender the property originally leased to him. And the second right that we found of a lessee's destruction of property, if by fire, tempest, or flood, or violence of an army or of a mob or other irresistible force, any material part of the property be wholly destroyed or rendered substantially and permanently unfit for the purposes for which it was let, the lease shall, at the option of the lessee, be void. The lessee is, however, not entitled to treat the lease void if the property is destroyed through the wrongful act of his own. And now we'll go to the third one, that is relating to repairs. If the lessor neglects to make within a reasonable time after notice any repairs which he is bound to make to the property, the lessee may make the same himself and deduct the expenses of such repairs with interest from rent or otherwise recover it from the lessor. And the fourth right is regarding payment made on behalf of the lessor. If the lessor neglects to make any payment which he is bound to make, and which, if not made by him, is recoverable from the lessee or against the property, the lessee may make such payment himself and deduct it with interest from the rent of, or otherwise recover it from the lessor. And the fifth one is relating to fixtures. The lessee may, even after the determination of the lease, remove at any time while he is in possession of the property leased out, but not afterwards, all things which he has attached to the earth, provided he leaves the property in the state in which he received it. And the sixth rights of a lessee is regarding crops, when a lease of uncertain duration determines by any means except the fault of the lessee, he or his legal representative is entitled to all the crops planted or sown by the lessee and growing upon the property when the lease determines, and to fee, ingress and egress the, to gather and carry them. And the seventh right of a lessee is that the assignment. The lessee may transfer absolutely or by way of mortgage or sublease the whole or any part of his interest in the property, and any transfer of such interest or part may again transfer it. The lessee shall not, by reason of such transfer, cease to be subject to any of the liabilities attaching to the lease. So these are the 7 different rights of a lessee that we found under the Transfer of Property Act. Now we'll discuss the very liabilities of a lessee. And so we found 7 different liabilities of the lessee. The first one is lessee's duty to disclose. The second one, obligation to pay rent. Then the third one, repairs. And the fourth one, lessee's duty to the lessor. Then the fifth one is regarding user. The sixth one is relating to erection of buildings, and the seventh one, restoration of possession. So, as regarding the first one, lessee's duty of disclosure. The lessee is bound to disclose to the lessor any fact as to the nature or extent of the interest which the lessee is about to take, or which the lessee is and the lessor is not aware, and which materially increases the value of such interest. And the second liability is that of lessee is obligation to pay rent. The lessee is bound to pay or tender at the proper time and place the premium or rent to the lessor or his agent, and the very payment may be made by check unless specifically forbidden by the lessor, as it was decided by the Allahabad High Court in 1976 in the leading case Dharmender Nath versus Jagdish Prakash. So now we'll go to the third liability of the lessee, and that is relating to repairs. The lessee is bound to keep, and on the termination of the lease, to restore the property in as good condition as it was at the time he was put in possession, subject only to the changes caused by reasonable wear and tear. And the fourth liability of the lessee is that lessee's duty to the lessor. If the lessee becomes aware of any proceeding to recover the property or any encroachment made upon the lessor's right, he is bound to give with reasonable diligence notice thereof to the lessor. And now we'll go to the fifth liability, and that is relating to user. The lessee may use the property and its products, if any, as a person of ordinary prudence would use them if they were his own. But he must not use or permit another to use the property for a purpose other than that for which it was leased, or commit any act which is destructive or injurious to the property. And the sixth liability of the lessee is relating to erection of buildings. The lessee must not, without the lessor's consent, erect on the property any permanent structure except for agricultural purposes. And the seventh or the last one is regarding restoration of possession. So this is the last liability of the lessee on the determination of the lease. The lessee is bound to put the lessor into possession of the property. So these are the rights and liabilities of a lessee in the absence of a contract to the contrary that we found under the provisions of Transfer of Property Act. So we found there are 7 rights of a lessee, so also 7 liabilities of the lessee regarding the leasehold property in regards to the lease which he received from the lessor. So this should be the correct and appropriate answer to question number 60. What are the rights and liabilities of a lessee in the absence of a contract to the contrary? So in this series, we have discussed up to question number 60 and the rest questions relating to property law or exactly in relation to Transfer of Property Act 1882 we would like to discuss in our upcoming videos.